Now, at this point, I usually would install the new power cord, which comes out of this hole right here. But the one thing that I have not done yet is check to see if the main transformer and all of the tuning coils are good. So, for purposes of this video, I will do my best to try and demonstrate how to do that. So that's the next section that we'll work on. So the first thing we're going to do is check the main transformer, and that is right here. And we're going to check the input side. It says it should be 5 ohms according to this paperwork right here. And in order to check that, we're going to put our probes on the bakelite block, part 59, on the 2 connections where the main power cord is connected. Of course, the main power cord is not installed yet, so we don't have to worry about any juice. We could still measure it as long as the radio is not plugged in. So you want to measure these coils with no power going through them. So here's the radio's on, and we're going to put our probes right here where the power cord connects, and we get 5.6 ohms. So we know the input side of the transformer is good. So the next thing we're going to check is the output side, and in this case we're going to check the output to the rectifier tube, and it should read 0.1 ohms, and the output to the rectifier tube would be the heater pins. So we're going to go here to the heater pins of the rectifier tube, which is right here, and it should read 0.1 ohms. And it's reading 0.1 ohms. It flashed 0.2 for a second and 0, but it's 0.1 ohms right there. So we know that's good. Now the next thing we're going to check is a portion of the output here that goes to the plate of the rectifier tube, one of the plates of the rectifier tube, and the bias resistor right here. And that coil should read 145 ohms. So here we go. And it's this connection right here on the bias resistor. And pin number 4 of the rectifier tube. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And it should read close to 145 ohms, and it's reading 139 ohms, so that's pretty close. And the next point will be between the other plate of the tube and the same point here. So that would be pin 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this one should read 155 ohms. And it's reading 147 ohms. So I'm guessing that's probably good. And the last section of the main transformer to check is this right here, which goes between chassis ground and the black arrow there indicates that it goes to the pins of one of the heaters on each of the tubes except for the rectifier tube. And we should get 0.1 ohms. So chassis ground, you can see I've got one lead connected to chassis ground, and we're going to go to the heater of this tube up here, and we'll check that one and see if we get anything. 0 ohms, so maybe it's this heater connection right here. And yes, we're getting 0.1 ohms, so we know that that portion of the output transformer is good. Okay. The next thing we're going to check is the field coil for the speaker, which is right here. And it should read 1140 ohms. And we're going to measure it between this 9k ohm resistor, which is a flexible resistor, and a connection on the speaker itself over here. The white, this white lead right here. So I've got one lead already on the connection where this resistor is, and we're going to go over here to the speaker. And since these are all faded, we're just going to pick one and see if it's the right one. And that reads 1189 ohms. And it should read 1140. So I'd say that's pretty close. So we'll say that the field coil is good. Okay, so the next thing we need to check is the output transformer for the speaker, which should be 400 ohms. And that is this unit here that is riveted onto the back of the speaker right here. So we're going to measure for the output transformer. It should read 400 ohms. Uh-oh. I'm not getting anything. Houston, we may have a problem. This may explain why the radio was partially disassembled and looked like it had been shelved for quite a while. The output transformer may not have been working. See, that is part number 48. Just to confirm. Yes, that is the output transformer. Part number 327019.